Welcome back to part 2 of this video. At the end of this video, you should know how to access the requisite form for the SBA process on CSEC website. In my previous video, I looked at how to access CSEC websites and to download the requisite forms for BMed SBA. In like manner, I will be showing you how to access the form for CSEC and their purpose. So the first step is to type www.csec.org. So csec.org. It will then take you to this page. Next step is to click here. From here, you go down to examination, and you can choose if it's CSEC or CAPE. In this case, I want CSEC, so I click here. It will then prompt me to choose among here. For this, I want technical studies and creative arts. And this will bring up all the subjects under that topic. Here we want technical drawing. Left click there. I'll then go to SBA. So here it gives a outline of the 4 sections for the SBA. I'll then click on SBA, and here it will bring up all the relevant information that you need. Pretty much the first one is the SBA guideline. So this pretty much gives you an idea of, it pretty much outlines what SBA is about, how the SBA should be done. So you would download that as well. The next form, the next one is the technical drawing record of marks. And for this one must be signed, this document must be signed by the school. So this has a list of, it's a 2-page document. And this has this here, you will need to choose to tick either if it's building drawing or mechanical drawing. If it's a case where the school does both options, you will need to do 2 separate sheets. 1 sheet for mechanical drawing, 1 sheet for building drawing. So the teacher will fill out these, and this must be signed by the principal for the moderator. So the moderator will ask the principal to sign these. So here, you would also need to, each teacher will need to fill out this. This is a list of all the students that the teacher teaches. So this should be in the same order as outline as you might have it on the list. So here you would have the student registration number, the student number, and the estimated grade or its ranking, where he's placed in the class. Each student has to be ranked from 1 up to the last student in your class, and an estimated grade has to be provided. Yes, the SBA is divided into 3 categories. You have knowledge, application, practical ability. So the same format, the same sheet that you use to mark the SBA, you must use those same grades assigned to, you must place those grades here. And so this is the first one. Knowledge is worth 15 marks, application 34, practical ability is worth 71 marks, which gives a total out of 120 for each student. It's important to note that you must use a separate mark scheme for each student. Yes, so each student must have his or her own individual mark scheme with all the marks broken down into the different sections. The next form is the mark scheme. And this is basically the mark scheme. So the first part of the mark scheme, this is the updated mark scheme. So here, this is the written part of the assignment, where students is given 4 marks for knowledge, 4 marks for, well, yeah, 4 marks for knowledge and practical ability. And this is the written assignment, which encompasses the knowledge of drawing, technical drawing, occupation, health and safety, etc., etc. In some cases where the student does like MechTech and they're doing mechanical drawing, you would use the same business plan, the same business plan. And it's important to note that your business plan should tie in with the mechanical. So if it's a mechanical, well, this is my opinion, which is to be ratified, by the way. If it's mechanical, the business plan should be mechanical in nature. If it's building option, your business plan should be architectural in nature. Something like an architectural firm or something of that sort. So here is a breakdown for the different marks for the different sections. So you're required to do one main question from plane and static geometry. This one main question should encompasses more than one topic. Yes. So for example, I might give them a question, ask them to construct a polygon. And in that same question, part B might be to transform the polygon into a triangle equal in area. And you might ask them to draw the largest possible circle or to draw a square in the triangle. So that would be one question. So the question should, as best as possible, encompasses as many objectives. So it should be similar to what students used to get when they used to do 3 papers, as in the paper 2, the section 2, when they usually draw plane and static geometry. So the question should be something like that in nature. And note, one question should be taken from plane geometry, one question from solid geometry. Yes. For the building drawing option, here there should be a list, organization of portfolio. So you should have the problem statement should be clear. For example, if you want to ask them to design a 3-story, design a house to accommodate a family of 5, a 3-bedroom per se, and so that's really the problem statement. That should be clear what they're supposed to do. The conditions should be the guideline. One condition should be that it should conform to standard building code. It should be able to accommodate a family of 5. It should be 3-bedroom. It should be middle income. In some cases, it could be a case where the teacher gives the student a site plan. Yeah, a site plan, and you have to design the building within that space with the requisite setback. It could be a case where they're given an existing building to remodel. Yes, so those are some of the conditions. Some additional conditions should be like the standard size doors. It should contain all the basic amenities. Yeah, and but in some case also you will outline exactly what you want. So condition, you want bedroom, you want a floor plan, foundation plan, roof detail, roof framework, sectioning. And if in some cases where some teacher goes on to give additional components, you probably should state that as well. The design principle. The design principle here is the application of the design process. Is how the student actually go about designing this building. And this should incorporate the types of the design process. Yes, where the first stage would be to sketch the solution. Yeah. And this is a little challenge, it's a little tricky section here where persons tend to misinterpret this. But the design principle is application of the design elements, which are when the student would use lines, yes, different forms to sketch first. Yeah. So sketch first, and first you would sketch, show the teacher the sketch. The teacher would then look at that sketch, make a recommendation. The student would then modify the sketch. Yes. for example, for the floor plan. For the roof, it would be basically the same thing. So the student would pretty much sketch first the type of roof that they want, you know, and a little attic or whatever element that they would want on it, and then they will show it to the teacher. The teacher will then approve it. So you must show the design, application of the design process and the elements of design, where you use your lines, your circles, your arcs to generate these sketches. Yeah. Across here, the portfolio, the organization of a portfolio. Here we have a section which says entrepreneurial opportunities. The business plan should be somewhat separated from that. Yes, the business plan should be a separate piece of document. Yes. And the business plan can be one that is used by, can be one that they use in their textbook era, or if they don't, they could design one specifically for, or create one specifically for technical drawing. Yeah. Yes, also they would need to, another written section is the design justification. The design justification is basically each student explaining to the teacher while presenting their drawing why they choose a particular design, why they choose, pretty much why they do what they do. For example, it might be a case where a student chooses 3 bathrooms instead of 2. One student might choose 2 bathrooms instead of 3. Why did you choose 3 bathrooms and not 2? One person might say, well, I want my privacy. So that's the main reason why I design each bedroom with its own bathroom. One other person might justify having 2 by saying that I choose 2 because it is more economical. Why, another justification might be the size. Why did they choose such a large, probably 16 by 18 bedroom? Why didn't you choose a 10 by 12? Yes, because you want space. Yes, some person might, on their design, they might have a little gym, or they might have other sections which, suits their taste or their client's taste. So you're basically justifying it. The type of roofing material. Why did you choose tile roof as opposed to shingle? Why did you choose the type of window that you choose? So in the design justification, the student will explain why they choose a particular design. Yes. Why they locate the bedroom at a particular section. Why? Because the sun rises in the east and goes down in the west. Yeah. So those are factors that they should explain in their design justification. Originality, functionality, suitability, and conformity to building standard. Originality. This is, somewhat difficult to verify, but functionality. The building should, there are certain guidelines that should govern building, like bathroom should not have more than one door. You should have free access to all part of the house, basically. Dining room should be located relatively close to the kitchen. Living room should be somewhat isolated from the bedroom, etc., etc. So those are factors that come under building design and suitability and conformity to building standard. Yeah. Organization of portfolio, completeness of portfolio, 8 marks to that. Functionality, well, knowledge, yeah. Suitability of material. So students are required to produce a material list of the type of material that they use. Remember now, there's no rule that says that they must use concrete. They could choose to use similar design, yeah, similar material. So they must state the type of material, the size of the material, and anything else about the material. For the SBA somewhat confined, the mark scheme confines SBA to these main drawings. So students will be marked specifically for these components. So they should have a floor plan, they should have foundation plan or roof or detail. That value 4 marks. Elevation, they must have elevation in the drawing, which is worth 4 marks. Elevations, sectional elevation, which is worth 5 marks. Dimensions here is worth 4 marks, and dimensioning is the way in which a person dimension the drawing. For building drawing, the design, the dimension line should have forward tick on both ends. The extension line should not touch a building, yeah, etc. Your dimensions, the distance between those points are like the bedroom should not be less than probably 10 by 10 minimum. Your bathroom should not be less than 1500 by 2400 for a 3-piece. Yeah. Line work, line quality, symbols. These are like your wall symbols, your concrete symbols, your door, your tub, all of that. Neatness. This is basically how the drawing is presented. It's pretty much, yeah. And this is mechanical, and it's pretty much the same procedure, yes, for mechanical. So the mark scheme that you use, a mark scheme, one of these must be done for every student. So each student must have a copy of this. It's very important. All right. Now, next form is technical moderation form. Yeah. So this is where the teacher would enter. So these are the 5 samples generated by this system. And the teacher must submit this sheet for each option. 1 sheet for building, 1 sheet for mechanical. And the teacher will enter his grades here for the students that the system generates. The moderator will remark these 5 samples and then compare the grades, yes? And this must be signed by the school as well. This form must be signed by the school. This one is the moderator feedback. This is a problem one right here, because this one should not be seen by the teacher or by the school. This one doesn't need a signature. Very important. So here is where the moderator will grade the school per se, or moderate the school based on these criteria. Yeah. Number of assignments required, number submit, samples submitted, all of that good stuff here, all of that, all right? So this should not be seen by the principal. So don't let any principal, bully you into showing them this. You should not show them this document. It should not be seen by them. Yes. The next one is the so I think that's basically that. So these are the 4 sheets. Well, the sheets that you will need to submit, all right? Well, you would not submit. This is moderator that will submit this, all right? So that's basically that for that. That is how we access these forms, how we download them, and what purpose they serve, all right? So every teacher must have a copy of these. Technical record of marks, mark scheme use, moderation of forms, the samples, right?